close nearby, and I would take that bus into the big city, and I'd meet all of the exchange students because this was 1710 district, which is everywhere from the northwest side to the northeast and a little bit of the southeast of Lyon. So everybody was basically able to, everybody met in Lyon, and we'd all have like these big groups, especially for the first month. It was really fun to, have a group of friends to be with. And so basically, these are all of the exchange students. This was at Christophe Moret's house, which Christophe Moret is the father of an exchange student we had here when I was a youngin, like really young, which I believe, was she the one here when I was born?
Yeah.
Okay, but she was, yeah, she was near there, near my young years of life, and so 6. Okay, and so I went over and I had a dinner with him, and he is the YEO over there, so it was kind of cool because he was like, "Wait a minute, I know the last name Metcalf," and so it was really cool to kind of, socialize with him about exchange, and it was really cool because I got to meet his daughter for the dinner, so it was really cool. Here is it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And here's a little bit more about where I was. This was the view outside of my window and my first host family. And so, like I said, I was in this tiny little town, and Chesley is a old farmer's town. So the house that my host parents lived in was their great great grandmother's, and my host mom's great great grandmother, and it's this massive 3-story house with um, this open backyard that's it's kind of cool because you can see that they used to have this massive farm, and there's this big old barn, but the barn was taken over by other residents, and now it's a house. So you look out in the backyard, and the barn is now someone's house, and now they just have a tiny little house. But she was telling me about all the history of how her great grandmother used to plant crops and stuff, which is really interesting. And she showed me all these pictures of her whole entire family having the dinners and everything, and all of the renovations that they had done because she's an architect professor, and so she loves architecture. And so I took many trips into Lyon, or I took many trips like in October to go see a bunch of churches all around France, which was really fascinating. And this is one of the rivers in Lyon. It is the Saône, I believe, and one of them, the water comes directly from the Alps. So it's very interesting because you cross over the first one, and it's not brown, but it's like river water, so it's not super nasty, but it's also not super clean. And then you cross over the second one, and it's this like pure, like blue, glimmering, beautiful color. That's just it's jaw dropping. It's incredibly beautiful. This is a picture from the top of the very famous hill with the church on it, and this it's a they put the church up there, and it used to be a fort. So as you're going down the right side from this picture, there are all these walls across on these really really steep hills where they would put cannons and stuff, where they would defend kind of this mountain, because it's more like a hill for us, but it's a mountain for them, um, from different kingdoms and stuff. So it's very very old.
What is the name of that town?
This is Lyon.
Lyon.
Yeah, and it's very famous for its architecture because the roofs are not like the Paris roofs where they're more like, gothic and weird with the chimneys coming out. They're almost more like Italian or Venice. So you get down lower, and it's kind of like brighter than some of the other like French architecture, which is really interesting. And then this is the view right outside my house, and this was the church, and so it's really cool because the church bell would ring every single hour, and I'd hear it from my room, and it was really peaceful to hear it. Next slide.
Did it count out the hour? Bang, bang, bang,
Yep.
bang?
Yeah. And then a little story was for Christmas. Since I was in a Catholic school and my parents used to be Catholics, they still go to the thing on Christmas. That was probably the moment I realized that I can try my best to learn as much French as I can, but Old French, I got no chance because everything that they did, they would do from Old French, and that it's a whole nother ball game. It was really, really complex. I mean, there were some words, but then you get into all this other stuff, and it's all formatted differently. But it was really cool because it was almost like going to one of the Catholic churches here and hearing them speak Latin, and so it's just part of the culture for going to church there. And so, yeah. And so this is the pictures from the very first week of my exchange, which in fact are not in France. I got off the airplane super tired, 10-hour flight, and my host family said, "Surprise, we're taking you to Spain. We're taking you to our house in Spain." And so we went down 4-hour car ride down to Spain, and it was really beautiful. The water was gorgeous, and the house that they had was really close, and they had a private beach. So there were only like a few people that were there, and so it was like a gated community beach. So it was very peaceful. Yeah, and they had boats, and then there was a restaurant over here that was super famous for their seafood and their different drinks that they make. They have like these different like fruit drinks, but one of them that they had was like this cranberry red wine mix. It's kind of really popular in Spain now. I couldn't have because it has alcohol in it. So I didn't. I had like a sip, but not like a full glass or anything, just to experience what it was like. Next slide. And so one day I decided to tell my host family that I really liked cars, and they did as much as they could to show me as many cars as they could. So they, incredibly enough, their friend just bought one of the newest Ferraris. And so I was sitting at my room doing homework one day, and my host mom texted me, "Hey, there's a Ferrari down here, and the driver's in our kitchen right now. Do you want to come talk to him?" And I went, "Yes." And so it was kind of a joke in our family because I put like 3 exclamation marks, and so she kind of picked on me for being so excited, but it was really funny and really awesome because I got to drive around and talk to the guy about the history of sports cars in that area, which is cool because there's a mountain near closer than Lyon is to my town, and this mountain is really famous for having like really good roads. They maintain the roads all the time, and people with sports cars always go up there and they go to drive around. And another thing about that mountain is the reason that there's roads all over it is not because of the sports cars. It's for the military base that's inside the mountain, and they have this massive, well, not anymore, they were demolishing it when I was getting there, but they have this massive circle on top of the mountain that's this massive radar that does all the air traffic of France. And so basically how the sports cars and everything got there were these rich scientists and stuff going to go into the mountain, and they were driving up and they went, "Oh, the roads are too messed up. I can't drive my car up there." So now the roads are super duper maintained. And then this was my birthday present. Not exactly. I didn't get the car, but um, I got 2 laps in a Porsche Carrera, and I got to drive it for myself And then after that, I got in the car with a rally car driver, and he did drifts on the same track. So it was really awesome. And then I went to this one museum over here where this is an old McLaren F1 car. And so it's a little different than the new ones, which is yeah. And so this is about the time they're learning to do wings. So this is right before they went from just like the tube to putting wings and giving it downforce, which is really cool. Yes, exactly. It's a Formula One car. This Porsche or this one? This one is a 2007, and then this one is a 1992. And this one is actually my favorite. I like the more classic than I do the new ones, but I don't know. It was incredible to drive the Carrera, of course. And then this was just another. This is another LaFerrari that you're able to drive if you choose that one for the race thing. Yeah, the Peugeot. It's where? Yes, back here. Yeah. Yeah, there. Bottom left. Oh no, this one's the Ferrari. It's just kind of squished. This is the Ferrari that I went and the guy came to our house. Yeah. Next slide. And then these are all the videos. So I kind of have them by memory. So yeah, just leave it like that. That works. So this is me skiing in the Alps, and then that's the yeah. Just leave it there, and I'll explain it because I'll explain this one since it's kind of covered. This is one of the videos that I took while taking the ride with the guy in the Ferrari, which is super duper cool. And we definitely weren't going the speed limit for very long because he passed like 3 cars, but that was about the risky as he got. So, and then this one, my host dad, he was a volunteer firefighter, and then his real job was he was a medevac. So he was the pilot for the medevac helicopter, and so he took me there. A cool story is I was at my host cousin's birthday party, and they bring out all these presents. He gets a PS5 and everything, and then my host mom's on the phone, and she goes, she tells my host cousin, "Hey, go outside. Our present for you is here." And so everybody goes outside, and here comes my host dad in the helicopter, just flying, just does a few flybys, and then flies around the house, and then goes away. That was probably the coolest thing ever I'd seen for a birthday party. So, and then this is a funny video. This is my classmates. There's a day where you dress up and you prank the teachers. There's actually 2 days for this. There's one where you dress up and you prank the teachers, and then one day where you go around and you stick fish on people's backs, which is pretty funny. But this is the video where they prank the Spanish teacher. She walks in, and then these 2 guys wearing the aliens who are kidnapping the humans start jumping and dancing around her. So it's really funny. And then this is a video. This is inside the gondola of where I was in the Alps, which is really cool. Next slide, and this should all load, so you can go back to presentation.
All 5,000 feet or something?
Yeah, and then
High.
yeah, for where I lived or in the Alps. Yeah, the Alps. It was above the tree line, and I can actually research that because the what's the word? The station, the yeah, no, the lift. Um, it's called Les Cibelles, which is like the beautiful sky, like beautiful. It means beautiful-ish stuff. But here's some pictures of these 3 here are from the tour, and this one down here is from the tour my host mom took me on to see all the architecture and castles and stuff in France, which was really cool. This one was definitely my favorite. I like this one. It had maintenance on it, but it had a lot of points, so it was really cool because it was Gothic, and it took them like 102 years to build it all. Yeah. And then this is Monaco, and this is Marseille, which has another church on the hill. And I was up there for 2 times. I went to Marseille 2 times. I went once with my host family during Valentine's Day, and then a second on the bus trip with all of the other exchange students. And then this is Parc de la Tête d'Or. So every single exit or entrance into this massive park in Lyon, there are these massive gates covered in gold because, as it translates, it's the Park of the Golden Head. So it's really cool to go in there because it's massive, and it's a really cool spot to just go in and relax after having school or something. And then this is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So and we went there during the bus trip, which was really cool. Next slide. And these are all of my friends. So I was in seconde, so I was 18 and everyone was 14. So at the beginning it was kind of weird because I was kind of this giant walking around into their classes. But after a while it was really cool. This was my like study friend group because they were kind of the nerds. So I would go on and be like, I don't understand this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so they would explain it all to me. And sometimes I'd understand what they were talking about. And sometimes they would talk way too fast. And I'd be like, what? So they'd have to explain it again. But this is my best friend, Kum. He was really helpful in the beginning months of my exchange because he wants to be a pilot. So to communicate on radios and everything, the international language is English. So he has to know English very well. So he spoke the most English out of all of my friends that were French. And this is a picture of me at Christmas decorating the Christmas tree with my host family, which was really cool. And you can see me in an ASU jersey. This was a day where we had an ASU game, and so I pulled it up on the TV that's like right here, and I explained American football to my host family, which was really cool. And then this is Kum, but he's wearing a mask, and this is my friend from Ukraine. About 2 months into my exchange, he moved to Ukraine, and I still get messages from him like, "I miss you. Why can't you come back?" So it's really fun. And then here are some of the other exchange students, and then here are some of the girls that also helped me. Some of them were in the study group that helped me, uh, and then more exchange students, and then that was a circus thing, like get together we had during the year with all the exchange students.
Friends send any exchange students to Ukraine?
No. So he wasn't an exchange student. He moved because his father lost his job due to the war. And so him and his father moved to France. And I believe they're currently working on getting enough money to get his mom out of Ukraine. And that's the end of the slide. So are there any questions? Yes.
Wow, this was really awesome. I mean, what an awesome trip. I found it very interesting that so you were in a school where the students that you were with were 4 years younger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you find the academics there, the coursework? And also, could you say a little bit about your things that were really unique that you didn't expect?
Yeah.
In terms of like cuisine or anything else?
Yeah. So with school, it was startling because I left after my junior year of high school, and I got there, and they were 14-year-olds learning about the same stuff I was learning my junior year. So they actually put all my stuff in my transcript now, and my math class was pre-calculus, and I believe that they gave me AP economy, which was insane to think about because you're there and yeah.
For the work that he did in France, where he was with students that were 4 years younger than him.
Yeah, but The
So the coursework. So really, it's because of the coursework.
Yeah.
Not all of us.
Yeah.
It's the coursework. So the students that would be your age would have a different. They would have more
Exactly.
like college level.
Yes, exactly. And so
Okay.
yeah, yeah. But another thing about it was the atmosphere of French classes. It's completely different. Like I was required to stand up and greet the teacher into the classroom every single time they came in, as well as the class is given a classroom, and the teachers are the ones who move from class to class. So that was interesting. Yeah.
You're in the same group of students.
Yeah.
All day.
Yes. So that's why the study group works so well, because everybody was in the same class and everybody took like specific notes on certain things. And so it was really easy to kind of group together and, help each other out. And so just French culture with school is like the teacher, he or she goes there, they teach you all the stuff. If you have a problem with that, that's your fault. You got to figure it out. So it was tricky to get used to it at the beginning because Mondays was 2 hours of testing. So that was rough. I remember actually calling my parents up one day and being like, what do I do? I don't know what to write. What am I supposed to write? And so one time, I had no idea what it said. So I literally just wrote about my weekend. And it happened to be a test for my French. And my French teacher came up to me and said, "You're making good progress. That's really good." And it was awesome.
You did good.
Yeah. And this,
You just learned how school works.
yeah. And so this was the same teacher that he saw me looking way too bored in class. So he made me go up to the one computer in the class and research about natural disasters that happened on a certain island. I actually forgot which island I did the presentation on, and I had to present it to the class fully in French, fully with all of the resources in about an hour. And so it was stressful, but then at the end, when everybody's like, "How did you do that?" Even if I tried doing that, I couldn't. So it was really cool, and it was honestly fun afterwards thinking about it. So it was really awesome.
What an incredible experience.
So
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Vince asked about cuisine. What was
Yeah.
your favorite food?
So Lyon is actually the food capital of the world. So it's very known for different foods. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. During Christmas, they always have river. Is it oysters? Is that how it's said? Yes, oysters. River oysters, which were interesting because you open it up and you can pour vinegar into it, and it has to be alive for it to taste good and not get you sick. And then you just take the shell that it's sitting in and you kind of just drink it, which it was hard to get used to, but after a while you kind of see where the unique flavor comes from, which is cool. And then another thing that was probably my favorite thing was pate. I love pate. And so basically what that is there's different types, but my very favorite is where and this is just like fully French. So they take a duck and they force feed it like grain and stuff until it dies, and then they take its liver and they like grind it up and mix it with different things and then let it ferment for like a few months, and it turns into this absolutely delicious pate that you put on like bread, and it is incredible. It's so delicious.
Acquired taste.
Yeah,
No, it's good.
it's really good. It sounds disgusting, but it's incredible. And
I got a can sitting at home.
yeah.
He,
Oh.
he orders his steaks for
Yeah.
everything. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's another thing. I think the first 2 months, my host parents, they have friends that their daughter has this burger stand made in a van. So she drives this van around, and so I had a French burger, and I think that they're beating us at our own thing. Like the burger that I had, it was incredible. And then I come back and I've gone to many places where it's like, we have the best burgers, and I'm like, no. And I mean that the flavor just like sticks in my mouth, and I'm like, oh, I want to taste another burger so bad. Yeah, yeah. And any other questions?
How was your French at the end?
It was about as developed as I wished it to be. Now, with that said, I wish it was more now, because now that I'm not like fully immersed, it's really hard to keep it, but I really want to keep it. But I mean, I think the coolest part about learning a language was getting milestones in it. Like there would be certain sayings where I would form in my head, and I'd form them in English, and then after like a few weeks I'd hear them so much that I was just able to blurt them out immediately, and I'm like, whoa, how did I do that? And so it was kind of like every single time I talked to someone, it was like a test for myself. And so it was really cool to kind of talk to someone, and then once I got to know them, I'd try new things in French, and they would be willing to go like, no, it's not said like that, or that's actually perfect, how did you say it like that, first try. So it was really cool to see the difference. And I only had 2 years of French before going, but now I'm back, and I'm required to be in French 2, but I just sit in that class and I do the French 4 and French 3 work. So yeah, it was a massive leap in how much I was able to understand in French. So
You're a senior now?
yes, yes. All right.
Did you take the bullet train?
I did. I took a train. I took a train down to Marseille with my host family, and that was really cool. Yeah, and the metro and all of the public transport in Lyon is part of a massive company called the SNCF. So I could buy a TCL, which is like commercial transport of Lyon, and that would get me all the way down to Marseille, and it would get me up to Nice, or like different other places, which was really cool because it was all connected to itself. So I could get a season pass and go anywhere.
The metro in Lyon go up that hill.
Oh, yes. Wait, can I tell that? Can I tell that? So it's actually a massive milestone that they had. So to go up the hill to get up to the church, they made a cable car, and so they actually have two that go up. One that's like public transport that's modern and everything, but it's the same design. It's the exact same design. And so the beginning one and the commercial one have like this weird slant to them. So all of the seats, like here's the angle of the car, and all of the seats are put like here, like all the way up. So you would have to walk upstairs on the car to get up to the seats, which is really weird. So yeah.
Do they have trains from France to Italy to go up?
I didn't take one, but I believe so. Yes. And the the cool thing about where I was where I went to school. The lookout, like across the opening from the school, is this river, and then they have train tracks, and so I'd be able to see like cargo trains and bullet trains going past that are all like going to different places. They're almost like looking up into the sky and seeing like a cargo plane or something. So it's really cool to see all that.
So next time we have two exchange students coming back, which we do, tell Linda to schedule them on different days.
Well, it was also a little tricky because we had the presentation at the school, and so we had to jump here, but I think it worked out decently well.